Hey, you did not join me last week for the screening of Bad Boys, Ride or Die, aka Part 4.
A decision I do not regret.
It's a good thing too, because I accidentally missed it.
Oh, did you?
I put it in the wrong day in my calendar.
Because I was wondering, because I thought surely it's got to be coming up.
Yeah.
And I've seen Old Man Smith and Fat Man Lawrence on the internet shilling like I've never seen anyone shill for a movie before.
So my wife spent the day working in the city just so she could come to that screening with me, and I'm about to leave and walk out the door, and I thought I'd better just quickly check the time. It was the day before, so yeah, so she had to catch the train home.
And you sent me a lovely passive-aggressive, well, people like it when we talk about these on the show, message when I declined.
I don't
And
even
then
think
you
it wasn't deliberately passive aggressive, but it totally would have come across that way.
And then you missed it yourself.
I did. Oh well.
So let's talk about it.
I got
Because
nothing to
who
say.
gives a shit?
But I will talk about a couple of things that I did watch sort of over the last few days that I thought were worth mentioning. They're not recommendations at all, but just wanted to talk about them. The new Jim Henson documentary.
I did see that had dropped.
Jim Henson Idea Man. It's directed by Ron Howard, which is, that was a bit of a drawing point for me. Like, okay, because I like what he does. He's done a few really interesting things lately. It's good, but it's not as good as those other ones they've done, like the Being Elmo and I Am Big Bird. It doesn't really go deep.
Well, was there something to reveal about
Like
Jim
those
Henson,
two?
like those two?
Well, they revealed that he was much more of an asshole than what you would think. He was very much he was not a family man. I can tell you that. He kind of abandoned his family just for the love of his work. But
Which is why now that his kids are totally destroying his legacy,
yeah,
like,
that's
it's
right.
like, well,
and they're in it. They're talking heads. But it doesn't go as deep as I wanted it to. But it's still just nostalgic, and it's fun to go through and see all that footage, particularly behind the scenes of Labyrinth and things like that.
yeah, right.
Which, I mean, those images are also popping up on TikTok, so you can sort of.
I would
save
like
yourself
to
some time.
see like all the behind the scenes of like the Muppets Musicians of Bremen, like those the home video movies, like
Well,
because that was my introduction to. Now that I think about it, because I know we've talked about this on
Yeah.
the show before, but what was your introduction to horror?
Yeah.
And it was that Muppets. It wasn't just the Muppets Musicians of Brennan, because in that movie or episode or whatever it is, like the owners of the animals want to kill them. They want to and that was terrifying. But then I think it was the Frog Princess, the Frog and the Princess, or whatever. Like there's the monster Muppets are running around doing stuff. And that used to scare me.
You want to see terrifying?
wuss.
There's some amazing footage of the Muppets before they became the Muppets, before they were children's puppets. They were
Right.
made for late night television.
Yeah.
And they were different designs. Kermit's the only one that's been a sort of a staple sort of, look over
Right.
the years. That was him and his
Is
wife.
it like Homer and Marge, like in the early episodes of The Simpsons?
So it's like the meth kind of Muppets, right? Great footage and like him and Frank Oz being very young and so much behind the scenes footage. That's what's appealing about it. The other,
Do they talk about when they had the Muppets rebrand and it became a late night talk show?
They didn't go into that. I thought they would, but they definitely did the whole transition from Sesame Street to the Muppets, and then he called the Muppets off before it really peaked and wanted to move on to something else. And yeah, so his trajectory of his career is all there, but I just felt like this glazes over a lot. The other thing that I wanted to mention, and I hope that you have this on VHS, because there's a movie I never knew existed that I found called Top Kids from 1987. Have you ever heard of this? It stars Jared Rushton. He's one of the kids, and Jared Rushton's the best friend from Big that was also in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and he's in it when he was really small. And this is just a fascinating movie. It's kind of like it takes a bit of Tron and Back to the Future and Quantum Leap and whacks it all together.
Yeah, right.
It's about these genius kids, and like, there's no way they could be that genius. And by genius, the film would suggest that they can just tap a few buttons and they're fucking traveling through time. But they essentially discover time travel and send one of them back through all the ages. But the weird thing is, they send him back to moments in time in the evolution of the automobile and the car. So it's like he meets Henry Ford and he meets like Ferrari and Lamborghini, all this kind of stuff.
Right.
And to get back to the present, he kind of has to use the cars of the past. Anyway.
Yeah, right.
Such a weird movie. Looks very made for television.
It looks like a horror film from the poster,
Well,
too.
the poster I read is like a Danish or Swedish poster or something like that.
Yeah.
They're not the characters from the film. The lighthouse is not in there. And because I could
favourite
not,
kind of
you know
poster.
that when I watch a movie, I love to put the poster on my Facebook, say, hey, here's tonight's view. Sometimes you get a conversation out of it.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't find a poster, I put one together myself.
Right, you made your own.
So the poster that people may have seen on my Facebook is actually one I banged together, which is infinitely better than the ones online. But check it out. It's for free on YouTube. Top kids.
Yeah, right. Top kids.